Hi, welcome to Nomis Academy. This time we'll be dealing with perimeter of a sector. Yes, remember that perimeter is the same as circumference. So we said that perimeter of a sector is the same as circumference of a sector. Remember what a circumference is? For a circle, circumference is the total length of that line that makes that circle. So in the case of sector, meaning that it is the total length of the lines that make the sector. Remember what a sector is? A sector is a part of a circle bounded by two radii and an arc. So, if we need to calculate the perimeter of a sector, how do we go about it? Let's begin with the formula. The formula to calculate perimeter of a sector is given by 2r plus 2 pi r multiplied by theta all over 360. Oh, how do I cram this formula? It is simple. Remember, I said that perimeter or circumference of any shape is total length of the lines that make up that shape. Let's break this formula down. So look at this 2r. This 2r is gotten from the radius. Remember that it is bounded by two radii. So the first radius plus the second radius. Now plus the area of the circle. Remember that it is a part of a circle. So the area of the circle in theta all over 360. Why is it theta all over 360? Remember that the sector didn't capture all part of the circle, so it only captured a part in degree of the circle. And what part did it cover? So that is the angle subtended by the two radii. Are we getting it now? So that is how we need to add two radii, that is the length of the first radius and the second radius, plus perimeter of the circle. But in this case, not the total circle. There is a portion of the circle that the sector is. So we are going to calculate the circumference of the circle with respect to the sector. Therefore, we will now say 2 pi r into theta. This theta tells the degree of the circle that the sector takes from 360. So that is how simple this formula is. So you can always remember that the circumference or the perimeter of a sector is equal to 2 radii plus 2 pi r open bracket theta all over 360. So let's solve some examples. Example number 1, let's take this shape, this sample that we have here. We can see a sector that it subtends an angle of 60 degrees with a radius of 21 centimeter. The first example here is telling us that we should calculate the perimeter of the sector. So calculate the perimeter of the sector by the left side of the screen. So by the left side of the screen, so we can see it there. So let's go into the solution to calculate the perimeter of this sector. We can see that the sector has two radii and an arc. So this is the sector we're talking about. So this entire part of this circle is the sector, and as a matter of fact, it is the minor sector, being that out of 360 degree, it subtends only 60 degree. So let us calculate the perimeter of the sector. Given that, or having known that perimeter of a sector is equal to 2r plus 2 pi r open bracket theta all over 360. So we can put in the value of the known parameters. 2 multiplied by r is the radius, that's 21 centimeter, plus 2 over 1 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by the radius is 21 centimeter over 1. So multiplied by theta all over, the theta here is the angle subtended by the sector, so that is 60 all over 360. So this gives us 42 plus 2 times 22 is 44. I can say 7 here 1, 7 here 3, so that I will just multiply that by 3, then multiply by 60 here 1, 60 here 6, so 1 over 6. So my answer now becomes 42 plus, now I can say 2 here 3, 2 here 22, so 3 here 1. So now we are left with 42 plus, this is remaining 22, multiplied by 1, multiplied by 1, so that is 22. Therefore, the perimeter of the sector is 64, because 42 plus 22 gives us 64 centimeter. So that is the perimeter of this sector we are saying. I mean the minor sector. So 64 is the perimeter of the minor sector. So let's calculate for the major sector. So that will be our example number 2. So example number 2, calculate the perimeter of the major sector. So let's go into the solution. So we all know that the major sector then sustained an angle of how many? 300 degrees. That is correct. So the first thing I told you, when you want to solve a question in mathematics that has a formula, it is advisable that you state the formula, for that gives you an additional mark. So perimeter of a sector is equal to 2r plus 2 pi r open bracket theta all over 360. So we can take 2 multiply by the radius is 21 centimeter plus 2 over 1 multiply by 22 over 7 multiply by 21 over 1, now multiply by 300 over 360. How did I get 300? Remember that the minor sector has occupied 60 degrees. Therefore, we are left with 300 degrees to make up 360 degrees of the circle. So the major sector is subtending an angle of 300 degrees. So let's calculate. This should give me 42. So plus, I have 7 here 1 and 7 here 3. So I have 2 times 22, that is 44. 44 multiplied by 3 multiplied by, so I can say 0 cancels 0, so I'm left with 30 over 36, and that is 5 over 6. 5 over 6, if I divide both sides by 6, so I have 5 over 6. So 42 plus 44, I can say, okay, 3 here 1 and 3 here 2, so I can as well say 2 here 1, 2 in 44 should give me 22, so I'm left with 22 times 5. So this will be 42 plus 22 times 5 is 110. So the circumference of the major sector, or I can as well say the perimeter of the major sector, is 152 centimeters. So let's take example 3. Example 3 says calculate the perimeter of the Roman figure 1 minor sector, Roman figure 2 major sector, comma, if the radius of the circle is 12 centimeters. So the radius has been given, and we can as well see the angle subtended by the minor sector. So let's go into the solution. So I have told you the first thing you do is you state the formula. Perimeter of sector is the length of the radii plus the part of the circle occupied by the sector. So that is theta all over 360. So I can tell that this is 2 multiplied by, since the radius has been said to be 12 centimeter over 1, so plus 2 over 1 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by the radius, still 12 over 1, so multiplied by 120 over 360. So I can say that this is 24 plus, I can see 2 times 22 is 44 over 7 multiplied by 12 over 1 multiplied by, I can reduce this to its lowest term to be 1 over 3. So from here I can say this is 24 plus 44 over 7 multiplied by, I can reduce this 3 here 1, 3 here 4, so multiply by 4 over 1. So this is 24 plus 3.142 to 3 decimal place multiplied by 8. You know how I got 8? I just splitted 2 from 44 so that I have 22 over 7. 22 over 7 is 3.142 to 3 decimal place. So that 2 now multiplied by 8 gives 4 gives me 8. So you can see that without calculator you can do something with your head. 24 plus, now 3.142 multiplied by 8, 8 times 2 should give me 16, 8 times 4, 32 plus 1, 33, 8 times 1 is 8 plus 3, that is 11, so I write 1 and keep 1, 8 times 3 is 24 plus 1, 25, so the addition of 24 and 25.136 is 49.136, so the perimeter of the minor sector of this is 49.136 centimeter. So let's calculate for the major sector. Now for the major sector, So how do we get the angle of the major sector? So that should be 360 minus 120 degree subtended by the smaller by the minor sector, so that should be 240 degrees. So the next thing is to state the formula that perimeter of a sector is equal to the 2 lengths of the radii plus the part of the circumference occupied by the sector, theta all over 360. So I can from here say 2 over 1 multiplied by, remember that the radius is 12 over 1 plus 2 over 1 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by the radius says 12 over 1, now multiplied by 240 all over 360. So from here I can tell that this is 24 plus, this is 2 multiplied by 22, that's a 3.142 to make it simpler for ourselves. Now multiply by 12 over 1 multiply by, this should be divided by 120, I'll have 2 and I will have 3. So reduce this to the lowest term. You can decide to say 0 cancels 0, so I left 24 over 36, and if you divide by 6, you have 6 here 4, 6 here 6. If you divide again, you have 2 here 2, and you have 2 in 6 to be 3. So this 240 over 360 in its lowest term is 2 over 3. So I can as well say 3 here 1 and 3 here 4. So now I have 24 plus 2 times 3.142, that should be so I now have 6.284. Now multiply by 4 times 2 should be 8. So now I have 24 plus, let's multiply this, 8 times 2, 8 times 4 is 32, remainder 3, 8 times 8 64 plus 3 67, 8 times 2 is 16 plus 6, that is 22. I write 2 and keep 2, so that 8 times 6 48 plus 2 give me 50. So the addition of 24 and 50.272 gives 74.272. So this is the perimeter of the major sector. I believe you understood all that we did this time. Take your time to look into what we have done again. Write down the formula, solve it again when you get it. Bye bye. See you in the next video.